Hey guys, welcome to my channel Miss Recap. Today I'm going to explain an action and thriller movie called The Forever Purge. Spoilers ahead, watch out and take care. In 2048, while trekking the plains, a couple, Juan and Adela, encounters an outpost. Juan hands a group of men money to avail their services. A young boy leads them into an underground tunnel until they reach the end. The boy wishes them good luck and advises them to follow the rules if they need help. Reports of the surge in illegal immigration are all over the news. Mexican drugs cartels and their violence have pushed people to move the US, similar to what Juan and Adela did. They migrated in search of the American dream, but wonder if there is still such a dream. Racial discrimination and white supremacy have grown prevalent, making it difficult for foreigners. The new Founding Fathers of America, or NFFA, have brought back the annual Purge, a day without laws. Angry Americans and a rise of the minority might entail the most destructive purge yet. 10 months later, on the eve of the purge, Harper Tucker watches as her brother, Dylan, makes a fool of himself while trying to tame a horse. Their father, Caleb, does not understand why Dylan always has to prove something. The horse overpowers Dylan and he accepts his loss. Juan dramatically enters the pen and successfully calms the horse down. Juan looks at Caleb and they exchange notes of respect. In a butcher shop, Adela is a supervisor to fellow immigrants. Her boss, Darius, commends her work and says that he is lucky to have her. In their home, Juan and Adela shares a steamy kiss and some guac. Adela reminds Juan to practice his English, but he does not think it's necessary. During dinner at the Tucker home, Dylan seems bored with the conversation. A woman talks about their Mexican maid who cooks delicious food. She invites Dylan to meet her, but he is not interested. Dylan says he does not want his kids to get influenced by those people. The next day, while Adela listens to her English lessons, she sees two men with their new weapons. Guns and ammunition are 40% off because of the purge. On the ranch, Dylan confronts Juan for being late. Juan explains that he was not late, but Dylan ignores his excuses. This frustrates Juan and he quietly curses Dylan in Spanish. While Juan talks to a horse, Caleb comes into the stall to apologize for Dylan's behavior. Juan thinks Dylan acts indifferent towards him because he is a Mexican. Caleb raised Dylan as a proud American, but Dylan might be too proud for his own good. Caleb did not intend that to happen, but the way the world has been changing might have factored in it. He hands Juan his purge protection bonus and wishes him safety. Juan's fellow immigrant co-worker Craig has a grudge against Americans, and he does not plan to use his bonus for protection. With an hour away from the purge, everyone locks down. Juan and Adela stand outside their home, waiting for TT, Juan's co-worker. Meanwhile, Dylan locks the ranch and their home. On the school bus, Juan, Adela and TT arrive at a wallet sanctuary with armed men to protect them. TT pays the entrance fee and they make their way inside. In the Tucker household, they watch the purge announcement. In the sanctuary, the immigrants do the same. Alarms blare, anxiety builds, and laws dissolve. Out on the streets, people are killing each other. In contrast, peace exudes inside the sanctuary and the Tucker home. In front of the fireplace, Caleb dances with Harper. Dylan hears an odd noise outside, and he looks at the surveillance. Dylan hears the noise again, causing him to miss a person running by outside. He enters the garage with a gun in hand. There he sees that the noise is coming from a generator. Dylan checks his safe filled with guns and bullets, and he closes it. His pregnant wife, Cassidy, sneaks up to him. Dylan explains himself and their tension leads to a passionate kiss. Crime persists outside and Adela stands with a guard on the rooftop. She shares that it's her first purge, but chaos like this was a regular thing back in Mexico. Vehicles approach them, and Adela does not hesitate to aim at them with a rifle. The vehicles are from the Purge Purification Force, a nationalist purger group that wants to rid America of non-whites. Inside the trucks are people getting tortured. Later that night, the Tucker household is fast asleep except for Dylan. Alarms blare once again, alerting Juan and the immigrants. The gates open, which means they survived their first purge. Dylan is outside with a cup of coffee, starting his day like usual. Meanwhile, TT converses with Juan about how he thinks the day after the purge should be a holiday, and Adela walks through a sidewalk vandalized with blood. In the locker room, while Adela prepares for work, a reporter announces the purge's end. Suddenly, a man out of frame shouts that it's fake news and shoots the reporter. Adela gets to the butchering station and sees that most of the employees are missing. Adela gets outside and finds a caged goat. As Adela pulls a lever to free the goat, a metal bar clamps down her neck. Men with rabbit masks reveal themselves and the trap flips Adela. A metal spike stares down at her from the contraption and she shouts for help. On the ranch, Dylan is surrounded by masked bandits. Moments later, Titi and Juan arrive at the ranch and they notice that the gate is open. The rabbit men approach Adela and they announce the forever purge. As the metal spikes near her, Darius comes to her rescue, killing one of the men. Darius frees Adela but gets attacked by other rabbit men. Adela struggles and holds the man down with the button in his hand. Darius presses it and the spike is fired into the rabbit man's head. Police arrived at the scene and arrest Adela and Darius without hesitation. Meanwhile, Titi and Juan find it odd that the ranch is empty. They see the horses running around and they stop to chase after them. A masked man walks up to the captured tuckers. He removes the mask, revealing that he is Kirk before attacking Dylan. Kirk announces that this is a beginning of a power transition. They start shooting and shouting about the forever purge. Titi and Juan hear this and they run towards them. Kirk plays with Dylan and threatens to kill Harper. He makes Dylan feel hopeless as he points a gun at Harper's head. Titi and Juan watch them from a distance and Caleb sees them. Caleb starts struggling to distract Kirk. This gives Titi and Juan time to get weapons. As Caleb gives his final insult, he receives a bullet to the head. A shootout commences. Titi and Juan kill the Kirk, but his allies survive and escape. They free the Tuckers and in the distance more purgers arrive. They all get in a truck and leave. The police receive reports of crime continuing in the area. In the back of the police van are Darius, Adela and two strangers. Juan cannot reach Adela's phone, making him worry. They turn on the radio and reports of the forever purge are all over the country. Juan receives a call from Adela's co-worker telling him that Adela was arrested. The truck encounters a blocked path with the police station only a few blocks away. Titi and Juan plans to go on foot to rescue Adela. Dylan asks them to hurry because the area is not safe. Despite Dylan's advising her not to, Harper joins them as she feels indebted. In the police van, the stranger distinguishes the type of guns and bullets being fired outside. A purger shoots the vehicle with an RPG and they flip and crash. Meanwhile, Dylan sees someone from the outside mirror. He orders Cassidy to lock the door while he exits the truck to look for the purger he saw. Suddenly, a masked man climbs onto the truck door. Dylan then shoots him. As he passes the man's body, another masked man attacks him with a sledgehammer. Dylan overpowers him and bashes the man's head in. The police van is on its side and the man inside breaks free. He immediately gets on top of Adela and Darius tries to stop him. Adela gouges his eyes out, allowing Darius to choke him from behind. He breaks the man's neck, but the fight is far from over as purchasers try to get in. The van door opens, and it's Juan and the group. The trucker arrives right on time, and Darius separates from them to find his family. They drive off, passing through the destroyed community. After some time, they stop at a motel and a gas station. Inside the store are a dead attendant and customer. Titi finds a jar of peanut butter, while Harper finds a jar of jelly, implying that those spirits might not be the only thing on top of each other. In a motel room, Cassidy opens up to Adela about her worries for the baby. While Adela comforts her, they receive news of the NFFA declaring martial law. The military will be sent to every city to stop the violence. Outside, Adela reports that every city has gone into chaos. There is nowhere else to go and no one to ask for help. Titi exits the store with a radio. Mexico and Canada will open up their borders for the next 6 hours and provide shelter until order in the US is restored. With time running out, they choose to go to Mexico. While driving to Mexico, everyone is asleep except Dylan and Juan. Juan asks him if he has a problem with Mexicans. Dylan does not hate Mexicans, but he believes that every heritage should just keep themselves. Juan disagrees since despite their different cultures, they have proven that they can coexist. They arrive in El Paso, Texas, with 3 hours left until the border closes. The military has arrived in the city. The crew makes their way through all the chaos and they reach a blocked path. The truck broke down and with the border near, they are going on foot. The men lead the way, shooting everyone they come across. They are near the main road and they get out on the streets. The group enter a dinner and Dylan instructs them all to keep their heads down. Bullets hit the window, but they cross safely. As soon as a truck passes, they make their way to a theater on the other side. A tank shoots in their direction, causing debris to block the theater's entrance. Juan is disoriented and he hobbles towards Adela. They are blocked off, so Juan tells Adela to find another way out. Adela leads the way with Cassidy right beside her. Meanwhile, the rest try to find a way around the tank. Juan notices the roses on a wall, remembers what the young boy told them before. Outside the theater, Adela and Cassidy stop to grab a rifle. Adela reveals that she and Juan fought the Mexican cartel before arriving in America. While following the roses, Juan and the group get surrounded. The Purgers order them to drop their weapons, and they reluctantly follow. The Purgers lead given Dylan and Harper a choice to kill Juan and Titi so that they can live. Dylan and Harper insult them and the leader's wife berates them. She aims her gun at Juan, but then she turns and shoots Titi in the abdomen. Harper holds his lifeless body in her arms. The military arrives and shouts for them to drop their weapons. A shootout commences and the wife calls for backup. Juan gets a hold of her gun, turns it to her, and shoots. The group escapes and more Purgers roll in and eliminate the military. With his wife dead, the leader requests backup as he plans his revenge. Adela and Cassidy finally reach the last rose. They enter a building hoping that the group will be there. Fellow immigrants meet them inside, and Juan and the others are nowhere to be seen. Adela is losing hope, but then Juan and the others appear. As they reunite, Juan breaks the news of Titi's death. On television, the news reports about the government pulling out all military units in El Paso. To make things worse, Mexico has closed off access points in their borders near the city. Juan and Adela overhear a woman's plan to evacuate them. Outside, the chaos continues on the streets when a truck arrives. A Native American tribe leader, Chiago, offers to bring them to Mexico. Meanwhile, the Purgers leader receives news of the evacuees' movements. As the sun rises, the truck nears Mexico. Chiago tells Juan about passages his people created that will help them cross the border. Cassidy is close to entering labor, raising the stakes even higher. Harper notices Purges on their tail. They are headed to treacherous terrain, but the obstacles chasing them might be even more dangerous. The truck arrives at the camp, and they prepare to travel on foot. Dylan urges Cassidy to leave without him as he plans to hold off the Purgers. Harper accompanies her, and they ride up the mountain. Juan and Adela stay behind as well, and with a few rounds of ammo left, odds are stacked against them. The Purgers close in. An arrow is fired, blowing up a Purger vehicle. A shootout begins and both parties suffer losses. The group retreats after running out of ammo. They take cover at the back of a van, and the Purger advise to flush them out. They stop firing and the group has disappeared. The group takes shelter in a nearby shed. Juan expresses his frustration as he accepts that all they can do now is slow the Purgers down. Juan and Adela profess their love for each other like it is the last time. Bikers surrounded the shed and Purgers enter. Behind the long-horned skulls are allies who kill the Purgers. While this is happening, a group of Purgers hunt down the evacuees far up in the mountain. A bike then ramps through the shed. The Purgers knock out Adela, and then Dylan returns the favor. More Purgers enter and their numbers overpower them. Adela regains consciousness, reaches for a gun and shoots a Purger despite her blurry vision. Suddenly, the Purger leader pulls Adela outside. Juan and Dylan eliminates the rest, and with their ropes, they will try to rescue Adela. The allies use the environment to their advantage and pick off the other Purger with their bows. The Purger's leader takes Adela hostage. Juan is busy slitting a Purger's throat and stealing his gun, like the cowboys they are. Juan Dylan lasso the leader. Juan then shoots him in the head. Their horrors are finally over, and on the horizon is their new home, Mexico. They drop their weapons and cross the border. Dylan enters a tent and reunites with his family and newborn baby girl. Juan and Adela congratulate them, and Dylan thanks them in Spanish. Countless tents are set up near the border of American refugees. Juan and Adela fled their country to escape violence, but America introduced them to a new form of it, discrimination. For the Tuckers, it was the people they wrongly treated who helped them in the end. The NFFA and the US have fallen, and the Purge might just go on forever. The movie ends here. Thanks for watching. If you like it, so please don't forget to subscribe my channel.